Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of the AusNZ Community Podcast. This is episode 7 of season 6. Thanks for listening so far, and I've seen a lot of people going back through the back catalogue and picking up on old episodes, which is really, really awesome to see. Welcome to the podcast, my fellow hosts, Pete and JR. Hello, Pete.
Hello everybody. Good to be back.
Yes,
After that
yes, indeed.
Pretty epic episode last episode.
Yes, it was. It was.
Yeah,
indeed.
we've had a lot of good feedback from that episode. So thanks everybody for having a listen.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. JR, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm doing really, really good. And I'm looking forward to this episode. I think this is going to be fun.
Yes, indeed.
And Eva, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Had some complications the last couple of weeks. Had the trip away, which was really good to relax. And then back into it for another week. So, yeah. But yeah, we've got a really exciting episode on. We've got two people from the Bad Dads team. Now I'm going to mispronounce this on purpose. It's B-Ret, which is Brett. So welcome, Brett. How are you?
I'm doing great. Honored to be here.
Good. Yeah, good to have you. And the other person is just some noise, white noise, or you could call him Static. How are you, Static?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's an honor for me to be here as well.
Good.
So looking
I've said
forward
that
to
joke
chatting
once.
with you guys.
I've said that joke once. I will not say it again for the rest of this episode.
Hey, it's yours. You can use it as much as you want.
All
right. It's not
Pete,
like I'm gonna shock you or anything.
Oh no, but Pete, you can use it as much as you like.
And I will. Don't you worry.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. We usually talk a little bit about the game. Everything's been going on. Pete, did you want to say anything about the team event that you didn't get into?
That I didn't get into?
Yeah. Which one? The latest team event.
Team event or public event?
Sorry, the latest public event that you didn't get into.
Yes. Well, what do you call it? Super double parts one. I forget what they called it. It's been nerfed. They've just turned it into a normal time attack, and I missed out on having a go at the double strength parts.
And
what happened?
About that.
And honestly, it was the best public event ever.
Yes. Thank you for rubbing it in.
I had so much fun. And it's really odd because usually you're the one who plays it, and I haven't. And
I've just been too busy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
No.
How was it different from the normal time attack event?
So you know how when you jump with jump shocks and you jump so high, you jump twice as high with the new.
How would you know, Pete? You didn't play it.
I saw a video. Yeah, right. I tried somebody's challenge, and it went twice as fast as me.
I'm just staring.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun. There was only 4 vehicles, and 2 of them had mastery, 2 of them didn't, and it was just a whole lot of fun. Anyway, I was just rubbing it in the fact that Pete didn't play it. So sorry, everybody.
Yeah,
JR, did you have anything?
I accept your apology.
I didn't apologise, but that's all right.
You literally just did.
You said, yeah, but he didn't apologize to you, Pete. Yeah, he just apologized to everyone else.
I didn't actually mean it.
For Pete.
Yeah, I didn't actually mean it. Yeah, I didn't actually mean it.
You were excluded just from the event. So
pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
And yet the more we try and dig him out, the more he gets deeper. No, all good. JR, did you have anything to add?
No, I was wondering why it was nerfed, or it didn't go through was it 7 days or 5 days?
What happened was people worked out some way to glitch the game to have parts in the normal part of the game. So they were using it in Time Attack and getting all these new records.
And you
So
know,
I
you know
blame
what they
those
say,
people.
Yeah, cheaters got to cheat, you know. So
Oh
they were found
man,
out.
that's
Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah. So
What if they're
the
game
best,
testers?
the best thing to do is not to cheat.
Yes.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Yep.
And that way it doesn't get ruined for everyone who is too busy to play.
Like
Especially
Pete.
Pete.
Yeah, especially Pete.
But it will be back. They said it will come back once they've fine-tuned all these bugs.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I
Looking forward to that.
because I look
Mhm.
forward to it because it was, as I said, it was a heap of fun.
Mm.
Getting the mono. Sorry, the
Just you can stop rubbing it in now.
no, getting the scooter to go as high and far as it did. It was just hilarious. And I didn't realize that once they nerfed it, my challenge was also nerfed. So all these people who've played.
You kept going.
Yeah. But my recorded time is the same, but everybody who's played the challenge is like 3 or 4 seconds slower. So because it's not, and I credit all those people that have done 3 seconds 3 seconds slower because it's a really fast time. 3 seconds slower is a really fast time. So congratulations, all of you guys. All right, so let's get these guests on. Let's have some fun with them. Who wants to go first?
B, how about you go first, man?
Yeah, I will.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your HCR2 journey so far and how you got to Bad Dads.
I didn't even really want to download HCR2. I remember I was playing HCR1 and my brother got me to download HCR2. And we just ended up both playing on Bad Dads. And probably about 6 months after team started, somewhere in there.
Yep. And you've enjoyed it since?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just the team culture that they have. It's none other. Being able to join a Discord too, that was pretty cool. We weren't on a Discord before that, so being able to share the tips on a Discord is unmatched.
So you had never seen Discord before you joined for Bad Dads?
No, I didn't. I pretty much joined
I was
Discord
exactly the same.
probably like a few months before we joined Bad Dads. We joined the Discord, try to figure it out first.
Yeah. I was exactly the same. I'd never even heard of it. So, yeah. But yeah, awesome.
And what made you pick up the game? I mean, why did you start playing? I mean, you were playing HCR1 and you said, "Hey, let's try this." But do you still play HCR1?
No, I don't. I haven't played it since I opened HCR2.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I haven't. It's just the different graphics in the game, like the racing aspect of it.
Yep.
I mean, it was totally different than HCR1. I mean, more or less just crazy with the vehicles, but
I kind of liked the cups more than the adventure, and then trying to go faster and faster in cups.
Yeah,
that aspect of the game to me was the bit that hooked me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Never really been too much into adventure. No, I do like running adventure now with the glider.
Yep. Cool. Very cool. So you joined Bad Dads. You found them. How did you find them?
I just came across the team name. Thought that it was a pretty cool team name, so we just joined it.
Yep.
Me and my older brother actually play on the same team. So.
Oh, cool.
Who's your older brother?
Monster.
Monster. And that's his birth name? Like yours is B-Ret?
No, not his birth name.
Oh, what a shame.
Pete.
What?
JR,
It's Dad
do you have
Jokes
a question?
episode.
Dad jokes episode. No, it's
Yeah.
Bad Dad Jokes episode. JR, do you have a question for Brett?
There a question for both of them is: if there is a bad dad team, is there a bad mom team,
Ooh.
or do you accept bad
Sister team.
moms in your team? That would be my question.
Yeah, we would definitely accept a bad mom on the team. Actually, we need a bad mom on the team.
Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
do.
Spruce up a few players, but
So follow up
Yeah.
question: how do you define a bad dad?
we come home from work and play HCR2 and don't spend time with our kids. No, just kidding. Beam our kid across the room with a pillow, knock him down.
No, nice. That works. That works for
What
me.
about
What-
you? What about your Static? How would you define a bad dad?
Oh yeah, Bad Dadness. Do you want me to start with my journey in HCR2 or just the Bad
Yeah,
Yes.
Dads
why
part?
not? Yeah, why not?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, sweet. So when I got my first smartphone, because I lived in the Stone Ages and didn't get a smartphone till iPhone 3. First game I downloaded was the original Hill Climb racing game. I saw it in the App Store and I thought, hey, this might be fun. So I played that for, I don't know, a couple years. And it was fun. I like to take the monster truck on the moon track and just see how many spins I could do and just collect as many coins as I could, so I could upgrade my garage and stuff.
Yep.
But it only takes you so far, right? So, I kind of got bored of the game, put it down, didn't play anything for, a year or two. And then I was actually on a train ride from San Diego, California to Ventura, California. So like on the West Coast. And I was bored and I was like, man, let's see what's in the App Store. And then I saw HCR2 was out and it must have came out, a month before or something. And I'm like, hey, I played the original one. Let's check this one out. And the graphics were so much better. It was different seeing, you remember the coins in the original game were like 500 and 1,000 and 100, right? And I'm like 5 and 1. I'm like, dang, dude, it's gonna take forever to upgrade parts, if it's like the
Yep.
first game. But the economy was different. The graphics were great. You're actually racing against other players or their ghosts. And I'm like, this could be fun. So I played it, with the 4 original cars or vehicles, and just been playing since then. And I just like the aspect of being able to race and being able to build a garage. Like I love seeing the numbers go up. Like you're actually
Yep.
making progress and building something. I like
Yep.
building things, and I think that's what's kind of got me hooked. So when teams came out, Bad Dads actually was formed on day 1 when teams came out. So, and we're
Nice.
still the same original team. There's not been any mergers.
Mhm.
And
No
our
reboots?
original, no, nothing. Like we're still alive since day 1.
How
That's
many?
And what
impressive.
happened? Yeah.
How many members are still original members?
Oh, well, I'm not an original member, so I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to ask. Like, I mean, I gotta throw our leader a bone, Petey. I did invite him to be a part of the podcast, but Petey was like, "Hey, it's not my thing." So shout out to Petey. He's an awesome leader, and I really wish you were here. So when you listen to this, man, I hope you feel a little guilt because you could have joined in on the party, but you said no thanks. I think you might be
Yeah, I
scared
was
of
very
Australians
disappointed.
or something. I don't know. Those
Maybe he
kangaroos
didn't
over
want
there
to
are
find out
vicious,
that
right?
maybe he didn't want to find out that I'm the
Yeah.
better PD.
Probably. He might have been intimidated.
That could
Yeah.
be it. Hmm.
He might have been
Uh-huh.
worried that you could, out bad dad joke him. And he's like, nah, I'm not up for this fight. That's not me. So I'm not sure who's I know our original leader, Spy Funker, he's still with the team. But basically what happened was he joined a team and the leader of the team wouldn't start a match. And so he's like, man, screw this. Like, I'm just gonna start my own team and you need a Bad Dads. And the rest is history. Like we've been around since day one. So for me, when I joined teams, like I don't know, 3 days after it started, and I just joined some random team and just was trying it out. Played with that team for a couple months. Became like it wasn't a very active team, so it was really easy to be the best player on the team.
Mhm.
And then interestingly, there's this Australian player named Shy. I don't know, has he ever been a part of the Oz and Zed
Not
team? Do you guys
sure.
know?
Maybe.
I haven't
Okay.
heard.
Okay, because he was pretty decent, and it was basically me and Shy just putting up the most cams and having the best scores. And I'm like, you know what? I want to try something more challenging. So I was looking for a top 100 team back when we only had one leaderboard, and I found this team called Elite. They had an English flag, and they were about
Mhm.
110th ranked, something around there. And I ran with them for almost a year, I think, and was doing pretty well. We try to crack the top 100, and then we get a really tough match, and then we drop. This was the old trophy system, and
Yep.
so we did that enough, and our best players left. There's this guy named King. He actually joined Discord back when Discord was like a top 5 team. 42 points was the leader,
Yep.
and that
Yeah, the
just kind of
team
wrecked it.
Discord, not the actual app.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the actual team. They're not just
Gotcha.
keyboard warriors. Um,
Yeah.
and so the team kind of fell apart. So our best players left, kind of stuck around for a week or two, and I'm just like, man, you know what? I did good here. I was about a top 10 player on the team, and so I'm like, let's try to shoot for a top 50 team, and that's where I found Bad Dads. They were ranked close to 50, and my only parameters was I wasn't using Discord at the time, and I didn't want to, so I needed a team that spoke English. That was open to join, didn't need a password, didn't need to apply through Discord, and Bad Dads was there. So the only problem was the team was full. So like I just was teamless for a couple days, and then I saw a spot open up and I joined in, and I was at Bad Dads. And that was fun. It was really good. Played with Bad Dads for like a year and a half, and we joined Discord. I actually helped set up our original Discord server that we still have, and I didn't know anything about Discord. So, I'm looking on YouTube. How do you set up a Discord server? How do you do this and that?
Mhm.
And Discord opened up, Discord expanded the game so much for me. Meeting new players, learning new tricks, learning how the game really functions, kind of some more of the gamey things you could do to be better. And
Yeah.
we met some guys that used to be on Bad Dads, but were on Stars and Stripes. That's the old USA team, the old Legion team, which is
Yep.
now Empire, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I was like, man, I want to be there. I want to be on a top team. I'm competitive, and the team slipped to around 100, 110th, and I'm like, man, I was kind of envisioning trying to get more to a top team. So our best player, who was a good friend of mine, 718, he joined Stars and Stripes, and I joined up with Stars and Stripes a couple weeks later, and was on there, and that was fun. Really good group of guys. We had a lot of fun. We'd play the game. We'd get on Discord at night, chop it up. Rip each other. Just make fun, and had a good time. And then I was with them when we transitioned to USA. I was with them when we did the merger with Nemesis and created Legion. I was actually part of the merger team, so like they picked some co-leaders to help negotiate the merger, and I got to be a part of that, which was really really fun experience.
Yep.
And then when we created Legion, we tried to create 3 strong teams, and then we tried to do it where all the best players were on team 1, and medium level players were on team 2, and then team 3 for players we could develop. And there wasn't a lot of trust between the teams, so it just kind of fell apart, and it just got real
Shame.
messy. Right. And it was because like Nemesis, we thought Nemesis and the USA guys, we kind of had similar attitudes, and we thought we'd be a good fit for each other. Right. Like when you merge teams, you kind of have to have good, chemistry and similar team cultures if it's going to work out. And we thought it could, and it just didn't. So, when that got all messy, a lot of the original USA guys said, "Hey, this isn't really what we wanted to. Let's go start our own team." And we're like, "Yeah, let's do it." So probably 30 of us left and started Last Call, which is still around.
No. Yeah.
So Big Al's leading that team, um, and they're still doing pretty good. So I went to Last Call for a couple months, but by that time I was getting burnt out. So I think I played on Last Call for about 6 months, and then I actually quit the game for, I don't know, a year or two. Just kind of picking up the game
Oh.
here and there because I was just burnt out. Um, I was doing good, but like with all these super mergers, I was kind of like on the lower end of the score of scoreboard. So, it always feels good when you can help your team, but like when you feel like you're dragging the team down, it just kind of adds stress to the game, you know.
Yeah.
And being a
It's nice
competitive
to be at the
guy,
top.
yeah, for sure. It's not that I'm like I have to be at the top, but it's just like I want to feel like I'm adding value to the team, and I just
Yeah.
felt like at that time I wasn't. So I just took a break from the game, picked up some other mobile games that kind of consume my time. So, I was like, hey, I've been doing this hill climb racing thing for like 5 years, so let's just take a break. Um, and then I just kind of run the game here and there for a few weeks. And so I missed Nitro coming out. I missed the rear spoiler coming out. But I've kind of picked up the game again. I got bored of some of the other games that I was playing, and I'm like, hey, let's do hill climb racing again. And so actually a year ago I picked up the game again, and like, all right, we'll give it another try. But I'm not gonna be a super competitive guy and have that stress of like, hey, I gotta run all my tickets, like if I'm having a busy day and I can only get half my tickets in, I know I can do that on Bad Dads. So I picked up the game. Rock Bouncer came out, and I had to unlock it, with the public event, which is kind of new for me because I missed those updates
Yep.
for those years. Um, but I kind of worked my way in and joined. I joined some random team in Division 3, and first set of tickets, I got like the best score by like 15,000 points, and nobody says nothing. I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I got to go back to Bad Dads because at least somebody's gonna be like, hey, man, great score, or whatever. That's just kind of the culture we have. Like when people do good, like we call them out and just say, hey, good work. And then, some of the players on our team that are like, lower level, but they like get high scores, like, hey, hey, I got 30K finally. And like, hey man, good work. You know, like we encourage
Yeah.
people who are trying hard. It's not always about the big score. It's just, hey, you working hard? We want you on the team. And I knew that
Yeah.
Bad
And
Dads
even
would
people who like grow their GP pretty quickly, you're like, hey, I've noticed that. Good
yeah,
work.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
like, hey, maybe you don't have the best score, but like, man, you got like 500 kilometers for the team chest. Like, hey, we appreciate that.
Hmm.
And with my history on Bad Dads, what I did was we have 3 teams actually for Bad Dads. So Bad Dads is the main team, and then we have Bad Dads Pro, which is kind of our second team, and then we have Bad Dads Beers, which is our third team. And we're not like a feeder system, like I know Empire has like what 100 teams, and you start from the bottom and you work your way up, and then we're all here like Drake, right? We don't do that. We're just like, hey, you want to join one of our teams, and you do good, and you want to you want to rock out on those lower teams, that's fine. It's not like, hey, you're getting called up to the big leagues. We need you up here. It's, hey, if you want to come up and you can run with us, great. If you want to stay on these other teams, perfect. So I joined Bad Dad's Pro with like no nitros on any of my
Wow.
vehicles. And I'm like, hey, I'm just getting back in the game. I just want to hang out with the guys. Is that all right? And Rich is like, man, we'd love to have you. Like, you got history with us. We know you're a good player. Feel free. And like 2 days later, he was like, hey, we got a spot on the main team. You're up. You want to come? And I'm like, sure, but I don't have any nitros, man. Like I hear this is an important part. I've been out of the game for a while. He's like, don't worry, man, we got you a spot. So I've been on Bad Dance again for about a year. So it's been a crazy ride. Like for me, it's been awesome to be a part of the Stars and Stripes USA, last call group. So shout out to those guys. They're a great group of guys. They just want to have fun. And create good friendships through a game. So I miss running with them, but like I just don't need the stress of trying to get all my tickets in, and Bad Dad's is more relaxed, and we do pretty good. So that's my story. I know it's a little bit longer than B-Ret's, but
No, that's great.
that's what it is.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear the past of other teams and how similar they are.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
good. Like, because I just gotten onto Discord. I like, when you always say, "Hey, those were the good old days." Like, I think back to the Stars and Stripes USA days. And because I just joined Discord, so like, we're constantly chatting. And do you guys remember when Team Russia got banned?
That was a long
Do
time
you
ago.
guys
Yeah,
It was a
it was
long time
well.
ago, but I remember that, man. Discord, like my phone blew up so much that day because everyone was like, "Hey, Team Russia got banned," and like it was, those type of things happen more, back then, than I think they do now. But
Yep.
that was, those were kind of the memories that I had, running with those guys, and they were good times.
Yep.
Mhm. There you go.
Yeah. So that's the story. So JR, was there other questions? What was the other question? Sorry, I went on for so long.
My other question is, how do you define a bad dad?
Oh, a bad dad. Yeah, much like
Mhm.
B-Ret, man. We blue collar workers, right? We go to work, we put our time in, we make money, we win bread for the family, and then we come home and we play video games and ignore our kids, and then they get out of hand, and then we got to go in and kind of corral them around and set order because they've lost order because we're playing video games. And then we have to take a break from the video games to play sports or help them read or help them do their homework, and then we put them in bed and then we go play games some more.
Sounds
So
pretty familiar.
you mean a day doesn't go by without running tickets, running kilometers, playing games for bad dads?
for, for Bad Dads, yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm a daily player. Like it's I don't know, it's what I do to relax, but it's also when, like, for me, when you join when you've been away from the game for a while,
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm playing catch up. I don't know if you've ever,
Mm-hmm.
if you get that feeling, right? So I feel like I'm always behind, and my competitiveness kind of takes over and be like, I got to catch up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of the drive I have. Plus, I have, um, I don't know, I have a loyalty trait. Um, I've actually had some friends in real life that don't play video games that said that I'm loyal to a fault. Like sometimes I'm too loyal, and I'll stick around when maybe I shouldn't. So, you know, being that part of my personality, I just I just want to do good for the team. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if I do well, if I finish first and we win a match, I just feel like that gives the other guys and gals on the team success, right? And I just want to share in that. So, those are kind of, this is what drives me.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I mean, because loyalty is getting harder and harder to find nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And it's one of those things that, we've only had a few teams that have said that they've never merged across, the 60 odd episodes that we've had on. So to find teams that have never really done the merge just to get inverted commas better,
Yeah.
is really, really cool,
Yeah. I mean, B-Ret knows more about this stuff, because he's kind of been in leadership longer than I have. But like, we've had offers for mergers, and we're just like, nope, we're good. There's been like, I think 5 teams or so. Like, hey, you want to merge? And like, yeah, we could do better. And we're like, nope, we don't. If you want to come join
Yeah.
our culture, great. But we don't want to
We're happy
sacrifice our
chilling.
culture. Yeah, we're not going to chase success. Like, we want to keep what we have. And if that takes us to the top, great. But if, right now we're kind of fluctuating between Division 1 and CC, like, we're fine. Like, we got a great core group of guys, that are there for each other. Like, we make each other laugh. We're there for support, and we don't want to lose that just to score more points in a game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I hear you. Because the fallout from a merger can sometimes be 2 really bad teams, because the
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who were playing with each other and egg each other on aren't egging each other on anymore. And
Yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden,
Yep.
you've got players that aren't being pushed, who are just putting a score up and going, "Oh yeah, that's great."
Yeah. So,
And vice versa. Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I have a little story. Like, when I left Bad Dads, that kind of left the team in a bad spot, because a lot of our so like I know at least 3 of us went to Stars and Stripes, and 3 of the top 10 players went to Stars and Stripes, and so some of the other guys went. I can't remember the team that they went to, but there's this one dude named Baldfish, and we chop it up on Discord, and it was really easy to wind Baldfish up. So, like, we kind of talk crap to each other,
Yep.
and his team and USA kind of became rivals, because we had a little history, and then we kind of talk trash to each other, and and then people would get upset and say some funny stuff, and I'm just like, man, we're just chilling here, right? Like, we're just trying to have a little
Yeah.
fun. But
Yep.
so, like, that can happen. Or like, when Last Call was formed, hey, another really good team actually showed up on the scene.
Yep.
So it can go either way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So, should we start with some of those community questions?
Unless you had some more questions.
No, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good. Pete, did you have any more questions?
No, I'm good. I'm happy to get into it.
All right, let's do that.
What about Jack Rabbit?
Maybe just quickly. I don't think I've seen this
Yeah.
question in the
I knew it.
community questions. What is the reason behind the name B-Ret and Static? So B-Ret, please go first. What's the reason behind your name?
B-Ret is really my real name. I put a dash in between it just to separate it. All my little friends in life, all my best friends in life have called me B. They haven't called me B-Ret, so that's why I wanted to separate the two. But
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I call him B just because I'm lazy on the keyboard. I'm like, I ain't got time to put that dash in your name. I'm just gonna call you B.
Well, if you've got an iPhone and you're doing it on an iPhone, you have to go through 3 screens to get a dash.
Right?
Because
See, Ava, you feel my pain.
No, I hear you, because I have a work iPhone, and when I have to type my home address to send something to myself, Michael, underscore and dash are in the same plane.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, swap, symbols, numbers. Oh, for God's sakes, Apple, make this freaking easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I digress. I go off on tangents.
I feel no, it's okay. And your tangents are awesome, Ava. You should keep them up. Just when your tangent goes off to, like, we're on tangent 5, then maybe it's a little too much. But your tangents are great.
Cool.
How's the talk to text, the speech to text on Apple? Would
Just
that
as
work
bad
if
as
you
it
did
is.
B
Just as
dash
bad.
Ret?
No, just as bad. It's just as
Hey,
bad
so-
as.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, so Pete, so the thing is, so I have two languages on my phone. Because I have my wife's from Mexico, so we're like Mexican Americans. So
Oh, yeah.
sometimes I have it on Spanish and I talk to it in English and it don't work.
Freaks out.
Right. So
No
it's kind of like that.
comprehende.
Yeah, no comprehende.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
No.
What
You guys,
about
I type in Italian and it just corrects everything, and it's just like,
Really?
oh, for God's sake,
Really?
just let me write this bloody word.
Right. So does it actually improve your your Australian lingo when you type in Italian then? Is that
Yeah,
how it works?
it transverts my grazie mille to something that is just indistinguishable as Italian.
And they're probably like, man, these Australians, man, they just disrespect us. They don't understand our culture. They don't know nothing, man. Right?
Yeah. No.
Mm,
Well, look, I remember going to Italy, almost 20 years ago now, and not feeling like a local. And it made me prouder to be an Australian. I was very happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be proud from where you're from, right? Like, we all
Yep.
have something to be proud about no matter where you're from. So,
Yep.
but yeah, that's cool that you could go to Italy. So it's
Mm.
kind of on my bucket list. I'd love to go visit. I want to go to Florentina and
Yep.
Rome. So it's just beautiful stuff over there.
Yeah. Well, I also
Mm.
speak fluent, so I speak
Nice.
fluent Italian, and I speak a dialect as well. It's what I learnt as a kid with mum and dad,
Okay.
and it was funny talking in the dialect and being mistaken as a local. So yeah, it was, but only in
Man.
certain places. Only in certain places.
Right. Yeah. Because like if you're in the wrong side of town and you speak the wrong dialect, then you kind of just dug yourself a hole.
No, it was the people in the markets. The people in the markets trying to sell to you.
I thought you were going to say the
Who
mafia then.
No.
Mafia.
And they were the ones who picked up on the accents and said, "Oh, you're from Italy, though. You're definitely from Italy." You're like, "No, sorry."
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like I'm fluent in Spanish as well, and so when I talk to Latinos that are in my town, like usually white people with blue eyes speak horrible Spanish, and then I don't have an accent because I lived in Mexico for 10 years, and they like look at me like I'm from a different planet.
Yeah.
Like, no, you shouldn't be able to do that. I'm like, well, I can, so So I
Yeah.
I have that feeling. I know how you feel, Ava.
Yeah.
Can
No,
you
very
speak
good.
can you speak a few sentences in Spanish?
Yeah. Quiero saludar a todos los latinos que está escuchando. Ánimo y espero que estás disfrutando el juego.
And how do you translate that in English?
Oh, I just said, hey, yeah, hi to everybody from Latin America, and I hope you enjoy this game.
Oh, very cool. So the question is, what is the reason behind your name, Static?
My name, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we had a couple of Ava's tangents, didn't we? Um, so my static. So there's actually there's a song um called "What It's Like" from Everlong. Or Everlast, sorry, it's Everlast. And they have a line in there about a girl, she's having rough times, she had a boyfriend, she gets pregnant and then the boyfriend leaves her and so she walks to a clinic and the line is like she gets static at the door. And for some reason that word just kind of, stuck out to me. And I'm like, that's going to be my gamer tag. So that's kind of where it comes from. Is static can be interpreted as a lot of different things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
In this case it was just like, hey, she was getting hassled for being put in a
Mm-hmm.
position she never wanted to be in, and
Mm-hmm.
for me anyways, like my name is just like, hey, it's kind of cool. But like for Static, it's just like I want to show a different side of Static, not the negative side that you give people when you don't agree with, what they have to do.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, and I've been
Mm.
rocking it ever since.
Nice.
Very, very nice. Very nice stories. Um, the reason I asked the this question was just a little story. A couple of days ago, I was invited to a TNT party by DB Cooper. The team
All right.
TNT, Tessa's team.
Yep.
So we
Okay.
had a voice chat for like an hour or so. So there were the Cthulhu, Tessa,
Mhm.
DB Cooper, a few other adults, and Cobra, the FS mod, were there. And the first question that I was asked by Tessa is, "Why is your name Jack Rabbit?"
Mm.
So I said, "I don't think you want
I
to
know
know,
this story, so that's why I'm
but
laughing.
Yep.
but if you know, you know." And then Cobra said,
You know.
"This is kind of awkward." Stop there. So, yeah, that's it. Eva,
All
Let's
right.
just say it was her
that's the
favorite
first.
toy.
It was perfect. So, well, Jack Rabbit, I
Yes.
don't know. So slide into my DMs later, and you can kind of explain the story.
Yeah.
So I'm in the inner circle. Like
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
being
I
left
can
out
do
here.
that. I can do that.
uh,
Uh,
no, come on. No comment. No comment.
no comment.
Love the
No,
Don't
fact
go
that
on
you
a
said
tangent
slide
on that
into my
topic, Eva.
no. I'm going to leave that as it is.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, great choice of
Oh.
words there, Static. Slide into my DMs.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, anyway,
Okay.
some questions. Some questions.
From the
Pete,
community.
yeah, from the community. Pete, do you want to go first?
Yeah, should we start with Cap A? He's asked a lot of questions, as he always does. So
Yes.
I'll start with he's got one down the bottom that is specifically for B-Ret. And he says, "How annoying am I to work with?"
He's not really an annoying person, not at all to me. I don't know why he would ask that kind of question. I mean, he's always helpful and all that kind of stuff. I work with him on the KD racing server where we do tournaments for the daily
Mm.
races and mix it up and do different things. But I mean, him kind of run teams. He's been a little busy here lately. Maybe that's why he's posting a question like this to me. And I've been running the teams for him, but no biggie. I don't know why he'd ask that question.
Fair enough.
Maybe he thought
So B-Red,
he annoyed me or what? I don't know.
yeah. So B-Red, I think the real
Yeah.
question is like, does Cap A even work?
He does. Yeah, he does.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
He's actually too busy.
Some of his other questions I'll ask real quick. There's one, if you could change one thing in the game, what would it be? And we'll go with Static this time.
Oh man. Well, I mean, I have some ideas, so maybe we can talk about them later. But if I had to change one thing, I think the best part of hill climb racing and what's made it so successful is the teams. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the way the teams are running right now could use some love. Like we've kind of had the same format, other than the divisions, since day one that teams come out. So I think if I could change something, it would be how the team scoring goes. Um, so I mean, just a suggestion, an idea is instead of your score being worth a set amount of points, right? Like score the top score is worth 300 points, in your match, and then second place is like 280, and then 240, and it goes down. I think
Yeah,
if you just added up everybody's score from your team, and then that would be the team score, then
that would make sense, wouldn't
everybody's
it?
right? Everybody's scores matter. And so, if you have the top 15 spots, right, like you're going to win the match. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. So basically 35 spots on your team don't matter, I think that would be an interesting change, and it would increase the value of every slot on your team. And then, you don't, it kind of discourages sandbagging, like your score matters. So if you purposely score low, like it's going to hurt the team.
Yep.
Because, right now you can kind of game the system, and, if you do worse at the beginning of the season, you do better at the end. And I think this might, this might be an idea of, how you could avoid some of those situations. It's not a perfect fix, but I think it would just add a lot of value to teams, and, make players feel like, hey, I'm contributing more than just 1 point to my team.
Mm-hmm. And also to add on that concept, the person who gets the top score gets an extra little bonus, like an extra chest or something.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. Everyone's striving for top spot.
Right. Because, like, I was thinking too, like, that kind of messes up how the team rewards go right now. But, like, hey, if you get the top spot, like, your team gets, 500 scrap, or, gets orange chest or yellow chest, whatever the reward would be, right? Like, that could be a bonus for, hey, your team got the top spot, like, your team gets this reward, right? Because you kind of have to restructure how the rewards go. And then, like, you could do, like, hey, point differential, like, hey, you scored X amount of points more than the other team, you get this reward, right? So you have to restructure the rewards a little bit. But I think that would, that would be an interesting change. And I think, it would probably be well received, by the game, the game community.
Yeah, I think so. Good one. I like it.
Ooh, I got a good one for Petey. Man.
How about you, Brett?
I'm the same way. It's just it just has to do with the algorithm and how the teams match in Kenyan Champions. I played on Empire for a short little while, and Last Call for a little while as well, and just to see what Kenyan Champions look like from a different aspect. And teams can really sandbag the first couple matches and only lose by a few points and get easier matches the rest of the season. And we've had seasons where we went 9-6 and got demoted. So, I mean, teams know how to sandbag and not win on purpose for the certain matches so that they get to stay in CC. Most of the teams I played on didn't sandbag though.
Yeah. That's the problem with CC, the way they've set that up. The auto matchmaking and only having a certain amount of teams in the division. Something needs to happen there.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Who wants to go next, Jackrabbit or Eva?
I will ask this. This is a fun one from Grim Reaper. So thanks for your comment, your question, Grim Reaper. This is for both of yous. So one at a time. Tell us your baddest dad joke. Start with you, Brett.
All right. Well, where do bad dads store their bad dad jokes? In the database.
Good.
Oh, that's bad. Okay, and you, Static?
Yeah, so I don't I don't have many good jokes, but there's this one that I remember from my Mexican friends tell me. It's like, hey, like, Pedro was so tall, like he tripped on Tuesday and fell on Friday. So it's kind of some Mexican humor, but it took him 3 days to trip and fall.
Yep.
So pretty bad joke.
I just opened my dad jokes app And the first joke that popped up,
Mhm.
why was the wizard's girlfriend always covered in hickeys?
Uh-oh.
Because he was a necromancer.
Oh my god. Oh,
Do you have a
That's a
bad
bad
joke?
joke.
Bad joke, Eva. Eva.
I
Do you have
have
a
one. I have one that
Okay.
dates back a long time. So
Let's hear it.
the background is funnier than the actual joke itself. But we were driving very early morning to the middle of nowhere in Bathurst from Adelaide, and we'd been driving for 6 hours, and the sun was starting to come up, and the sun's in your eyes, and I'm starting to blink and get tired, and the person who was in the passenger seat who'd been sleeping for 6 hours says, "Okay, I'll have a drive." So he jumps in the driver's seat, and I'm finally resting my head on the door sill, and I'm trying to sleep. And he says, "I need someone to talk to. You need to be awake, Michael." And I'm like, "I can't. I need to sleep." And he goes, "That's all right. I'll tell you a joke." He goes, "What's brown and sticky?"
Stick.
And I just went, and then he said it. He said a stick. So for the next hour and a half, every time we hit a bump, I'd wake up laughing, saying, "A stick, a stick," and then I'd fall back to sleep. And that was the funnier part of the joke than it was the actual joke itself. So yeah, from then on, every time I needed to say a funny joke to someone, it'd be, "What's brown and sticky?" And it was a stick. So yeah, there you have it. That's my bad dad joke.
Well, the other week I actually went to a zoo, and
Oh,
it only
no.
had one. It only had one animal in it. It was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Okay. I think that's enough.
That, my friends, that's the baddest dad joker named Pete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That joke has won awards.
Yes.
Okay, moving on from dad jokes.
Oh,
Here is a question from Keith Chief. Thank you so much for this question. His first question is kind of been answered. He was asking, what brought you to play HCR2? And his next question is, what are your hopes for the future of HCR2? Static, please go first.
yeah. So, that's a great question. Yeah, I hope that Fingersoft devs can see the value that teams have brought them, and it can improve teams. Um, but I think it would be great to see some kind of different game mode. After so many years, I feel like they've done a good job trying to trickle in some stuff. Like Community Showcase, like it's not for everybody, but that's been kind of a fun game mode to be able to play. To kind
And
of just
good
break
for
up some
mastery
of the
too.
different stuff. Right. Yeah, yeah, for mastery.
Yep.
So I think, some other kind of game mode would be great to add to the
Mm.
game, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. Mm. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any
And
ideas of what that would look like, but
Mhm.
it kind of
Yeah,
break
it's
up, give people something fun to do.
yep, yep. How about you, B-Ret? What's your hope for the future of HCR2?
Uh, question as well. Just maybe make cups like cup racing a little bit more competitive. It seems like it's kind of gotten a little soft. I'm kind of doing a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of mastery stuff, and I've noticed that you not win a race or not win a cup race, and you still move forward, or you still get an orange box. It used to be a little different. It used to feel like you would go backwards if you lost a cup race instead of
Because you did.
not moving at all. Yeah,
Mm.
So uh, I would like for them to make cup races a little bit more competitive than what it is now.
Mm. Yeah, okay. I get that part. Yeah. So he has another question. What would you like to see happen in HCR3 that would help to set it apart from HCR2 aside from the real-time multiplayer? B-Ret?
That's got to be the hardest question probably of the night.
Right, because you don't have
Because
any idea.
I honestly don't know if I want HCR3 to even happen. I like HCR2
Oh,
too much, and
really?
I wouldn't want to see HCR2 fall or not get the attention that it does now because they're starting a new game. You know?
Mm. What would you try? Like, wouldn't you be curious to
I mean,
try
the
it?
graphics might be a little better, maybe,
Mhm.
but I mean, other than that,
Yeah.
I like I like HCR2 too much to think about HCR2 or HCR3 right now.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. And Static, what about you?
Yeah, so well, with 3D graphics and I'm just for me, I'm kind of curious to see how that's actually going to visually look. How they're gonna
Mhm.
make the game real time racing in 3D, like what that's really going to look like. But thinking about what's made HCR2 successful is just kind of like different game modes.
Mhm.
Multiplayer isn't for everybody. Sometimes people just kind of want to play by themselves and do their own thing. So I thought maybe if, they had some kind of adventure tracks that was more like you explore a map and they had, hidden rewards around the map and like you could drive around it, right? And find the chests or whatever the rewards are going to be to, um, increase your parts or your cars, and it can be randomly generated. So like, the chests or the loot, whatever you find, um, isn't in the same spot all the time. So
Yeah.
that way you kind of have like an exploration mode, right?
Mm.
So when you get set in a, different themed area, right? Like, we have Cup Town, we have Savannah, like,
Mhm.
maybe they can make maps where it's like you're in a jungle and you're, driving through the jungle trying to find, these rewards, on your own instead of just a linear track where you're just trying to see how far you can get. Like you're actually
Mhm.
exploring and finding your
Yeah.
loot.
I
Mhm.
That might be cool.
did you guys ever play
They go.
it was a it was a spin-off game of um oh my god, Angry Birds. And it
Mm,
was the pigs would make you could build vehicles and then you could test your vehicles around all the tracks and stuff. There was a big sandbox and you could
mm,
fly or you could drive around their scenarios, and you would basically move around and find different places and go to different things. There was less about actually killing birds or pigs. It was more about building the machines and flying around or doing stuff. And that had that ability of just encapsulating you for hours and hours on end, because you would basically build something and then go fly it around an area you'd already looked at and found and thought, oh shit, what else can I find here? Because you needed to get to that third ledge and you couldn't get there by driving, you needed to fly. No
mm.
one ever played that?
I don't know
No.
what that is, so no.
No.
No. No.
No, I'm
Sounds
trying to
awesome
think.
though.
It was so much fun, and it was on one of my phones about 7 or 8 phones ago.
Mm,
And then I started playing HCR1, so I forgot all about it. But yeah, okay. No, it was just what you just said
yeah,
reminded me of that, and I thought,
yeah.
shit, I really liked that game because it was so much fun. My brother-in-law actually put me onto it because he was kind of
Mm,
that sort of guy. He liked to fiddle with stuff and make stuff. So yeah, interesting.
yeah, yeah. Because like maybe you could find unique and special parts or something to make every month or whatever to make your vehicle that much better, right? And you can only
Yeah, yeah,
find
yeah.
it in adventure, right?
Yeah,
Like yeah.
yeah, and you were constantly searching for more stuff. But
Mhm,
the sandbox itself was basically just
Mm.
a test area, and you could go into the sandbox and find stuff in the sandbox
mm,
as well as all the other tracks. Um, Yeah, it was. I don't know what it was called, but yeah, there were so many spin-offs from Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think
Yeah.
something. I think it would be cool if there's a mini game within the game,
Yeah.
like in an adventure mode. You would like still do a mini game within the adventure mode, something like that. That's just what I thought of. I think it's Pete's question.
Yes, it is. I've got a question here from OzNZ Jake, and he would like to know what is your favorite vehicle and why? And I'm going to extend that to in-game and real life. We'll start with B-Ret.
In game, I would have to say rally, because it's really hard to take your head off with the rally.
It is. Got a
You
decent
bang the
roll
cylinder.
cage. I like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit better roll cage, a little bit better headgear, so to speak.
Mhm.
And favorite vehicle in real life is the Mustang, the Ford Mustang.
Yeah.
Just always
What
been
year?
around the classics growing up, and always loved them.
What year?
I would have to say like the Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds would
That's a
be like
nice
the
one.
dream, would be the dream car for sure.
Hmm.
Damn, B-Ret. Man, you hit the nail on the head, brother.
How about you, Static?
Yeah, so favorite vehicle in game. Like originally, yeah, rally car for sure, because it's like the jack of all trades vehicle. You know what I mean? It's not amazing at any one thing, it's just good at everything, you know?
Mhm.
So but I think lately the glider has been my favorite vehicle. It's
Oh, it's so
just
much fun, isn't it?
yeah,
Especially
I mean,
with jump
especially
shocks and landing boost.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
don't have
That's
those
what I
two
run.
items, it's not that
Yeah.
fun.
No, it's not. And I'm already looking forward to mastery because, I run with the magnet, so it's easier to pick up, fuel canisters. But if you can add coin boost to that, then like when you're flying in the air and you can catch some coins, like you're just going to keep that speed up and it's going to make the vehicle
Oh,
even that
nice.
much more better. But it's
Yeah.
also allowed me to enjoy the game and see different parts of tracks that I've never been able to see before because I'm just constantly on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's expanded the game as well. And I thought Fingersoft did a great job with that vehicle. Because you don't get a ton of vehicles. Like, there's not very many vehicles that expand the game for you and allow you to explore different parts of tracks and stuff like the glider does. So I would say that's kind of my favorite vehicle right now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Um,
I honestly thought the glider was going to be that sort of vehicle where you could fly forward, get stuff, fly backwards, get stuff, fly around, have more fun. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's like I mean, it's interesting because it's got like a new skill, right? Like where you can actually do loops, and if you
Yep,
time it right and reland, you can extend. Uh,
yep,
you can kind of extend the flight, right? So like
yep.
what was it? It was a couple. Was it last week or the week before where we had the
I
point
think the week
targets,
before,
right?
yeah, targets.
With
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
being able to use the glider for that just made that event so much more fun. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I was watching you live stream
yeah,
tickets
yeah,
using that. Yeah, I was watching you
yeah, yeah,
both.
yeah. There was that for the teams. And like a fun moment too. Like
Mhm.
Pete, when you joined, um,
And
I actually
I'd never
like
been
I
able to
like
do it.
yeah. And what was fun for me is like I actually like coaching, and I
Uh-huh.
kind of coached you a little bit, right, to be able to
Uh-huh.
do a loop. And I think you
Mhm.
got
Yep,
your highest score on that track, right, when we were
I
doing
sure
the
did.
live stream
Oh,
together. And that was like, I mean, that was
nice.
just fun to see you have success,
Uh-huh.
learning that like, hey, I can do this loop, and
Mhm.
I can actually have another run at the targets and increase my score. So yeah, it's just
That was
that's why
that was
I
back
like
when
it.
I
It's
only
just
had
fun.
two parts.
Yeah, and I mean,
Oh.
you for the parts that you had available for that team event, like you did pretty good.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good
Mhm.
coaching.
Nice.
Hey, anytime you need some tips, man, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, awesome.
That's always nice to get the live stream going and show your teammates how you're doing things and how they can
Yeah.
maybe do things differently to improve their score. It's always
Yeah,
fun
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
see somebody live get to improve their score too, like we did that night. That was pretty fun, Static.
yeah, yeah. It was because like you showed me how to do the first track with tractor, and I got my best score, and I took your place on the podium. So I'm kind of
Yes, you
sorry about
did.
that, but it was your fault. So
Hey, I told you to take it. I told you get that second spot, take it.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. Anyways, and real life car. Sorry,
Oh,
get
you're
back to
right.
the question. Man, there's so many, but like when I was kind of late teenage years, um, there were two cars that I thought would be really fun to drive, and that would be like a WRX STI Subaru.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I actually got to ride in one, because a buddy of mine had a Japanese friend, Japanese American friend, and he got one straight from Japan, and it only had like 1,000 miles on the car, so he actually revved it up to like 6,000 RPMs for the first time, and I was in the back seat while he was driving it, and that was a fun experience. Um, so yeah, I always thought that, hey man, a WRX STI would be a fun car to have.
Yeah. It's like childhood dreams
Yeah,
from playing
the
games,
if
playing the
yeah,
PlayStation.
yeah. I mean, also, it's kind of a not a common car, but a Skyline would be real
Oh,
fun. Would be real fun to
they
have too.
are. Well, they were everywhere in the 90s, 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
But
good
see,
friend has got one, an
okay,
R33,
damn,
and it was a track car, and then he sort of
okay,
started doing it up and then stopped, and now it's been sitting for a while, but he's starting to do it up again. And the amount of
that would be
changes he's
fun.
making, oh yeah, he's making
Yeah.
so many
See
changes
the
to it.
see the thing is, those cars were never produced in North America, so they're
Yeah.
not common over here, right? So
Mm,
Yeah.
like that's a
Yeah.
really rare car for us because you
Well, it
got to
was
ship it over here.
the irony of the Fast and the Furious franchise and what it did for the skyline in America, because
Yeah.
the 34 GTR just didn't exist in America.
Hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah, like that was just one of those things. I mean, I grew up in the drift culture in Adelaide in the
Right.
early 2000s. So I was surrounded by Sylvias and Skylines and uh, old Toyotas, Aristos, and Crestas, and all that sort of stuff. It was a whole lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because like drifting
so,
kind of drifted over here. Sorry for the pun, but
yeah. No, it did.
it wasn't as common in the States, but I think
Yeah,
the Fast and Furious franchise definitely made it more
yeah.
popular
If
over
you
here.
if you if you watched the movie the Fast and the Furious the Tokyo Drift version,
Yeah, I did.
okay, so there's a guy called Reese Millen who does all of the stunt work in the movie.
Okay.
Reese Millen also was son of Rod Millen. Rod Millen was the guy who had the Pikes Peak hill climb, um, fastest time.
Mm,
So Reese did all the stunts. Reese come to Australia to do a drift school. It was teaching people how to drift, and met him, firsthand. I've got a photo of him next to me with a bit of someone's
wow.
front bar that he signed. It was really cool. We
Yeah.
watched, and later we watched the movie in a cinema full of drifters. The opening night we had a cinema full of drifters with people who'd been to Japan and all that sort of stuff, and it was amazing to see and hear, all the backstory that was in the movie that the average bloke who watched it didn't get, because they didn't know the culture, didn't know Japan too well, and there were so many scenes where the extras in the background, they were extras, but they were actually people from the car scene in Japan, which was really cool.
Mhm. Yeah, that must have been
Is that
a hell of an
school?
experience.
Is that school where you met Driftcat?
No, I met Driftcat before that, but she was at that same event. So this is a lady in Australia who actually drifts. Her name was Kat Calirio. She's a friend of Pete's. She's a friend of Pete's, and I said to Pete a long time ago when we realised this, I said, "Oh, I've got a photo of her in a G-ready dress that probably no one's ever seen before, because it was taken at a driver's briefing in Sydney many, many years ago, and it never saw the light of day. It never went public. So yeah, it was just weird and wonderful. It was one of those amazing cultures to be in at the time. Yeah, and the love of cars is just one of the things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Sorry.
Really cool.
Sorry.
No, that's a good
Tangent.
tangent, Eva. Okay,
That
that's
is a
really
very good tangent.
Yeah.
I just want to extend this
Go on.
tangent. We've also got not a Skyline, but a VL Commodore that has the same engine as the Skyline.
Yes.
Ooh.
They were also everywhere.
Yeah, they were made in Australia, but the engines were imported. Yeah, the engines
They were a
imported
lot of
to get in
fun.
the cars. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just to extend the tangent, to the fourth level, we had back in those days here in the States, we had these guys would put engines in this Honda CRX. I don't know if you guys had them over there, but basically it was like basically driving a coffin, right? Like you drove, like if you made this thing go fast, chances of you dying in it was very probable, because it was just such a light car. But we had those over here, the small CRXs with souped up engines, and just dragging down the streets.
Yeah. A friend of mine in Adelaide had one. It was a black CRX, the one with the back window in the tailgate.
Yep.
And he had the engine you're talking about. I'm not going to mention what it is because I honestly can't remember. But and he was fanatical. But I remember watching him come down a mountain, and I heard the car before I saw it. And then behind him was an R32 GTR that couldn't keep up with him.
Wow.
But this guy was certifiable. I don't know if he's still alive, but he was one of those kids that would have, if he could have, would have died in that car, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In the same sort of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, very cool, very cool.
Can I add my own tangent since we're on
Yeah.
Hey,
tangent?
let's go to JR. Let's go to the 6th level, baby. Let's go. Bring us in.
Yeah, right. Okay. Is any of you, all four of you, into customizing cars and joining car shows?
Yes.
Yes. Other than Eva, anyone else?
I think if I could afford it, yeah,
Uh-huh.
but I can't afford it. So I drive a CRV, not a CRX, right? There's a big difference between the V and the X.
Uh-huh.
And let's just say the V is not an upgrade to the X.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm in the
so
same
is
boat.
always better.
oh yeah. So Eva,
Yeah.
what car shows do you join, or have you customized any car?
Well, my current MX-5 is customized, but it's very subtle. Very subtle. It's mainly just creature comforts. My previous MX-5 was lowered. I'd done work to the engine and suspension, but not to the level of Tokyo Drift type stuff. For me, it was all about performance mods, make it go faster, make it go harder into corners and all that sort of stuff. So better brakes, better breathing, better exhaust, better tires. And the worst I ever got out of a set of tires was 6,400 Ks. So just over 3,000 miles on a set of tires. for you Yanks. Just over 3,000
Yeah.
miles on a set of tires.
Yeah, dude, we sell, just so you know, we sell tires at like 75,000 miles. So you were burning
Yeah.
rubber, brother. You were burning rubber.
Oh, I remember it was 2 weeks. I walked back into the same dealership and said, "Mate, I need 2 more." And they said, "Oh, the back 2." Ha 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 ha. And I said, "No, the left 2." And they were like, "What? What?" And I walked outside with the car, and sure enough, the left 2 were completely and utterly ruined. And the guy says to me, "What have you been doing?" And I said, "Oh, just lots of right-hand turns." So, yeah, I'd done track days. I'd done a whole heap of stuff. I did a trip around Australia, well, not around Australia, just Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, and back. Did 6,500 k's and 2 track days, and it was just awesome, like really, really, really awesome. But that was the thing. I bought the car to drive it and drive it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, good fun.
So where were we? I forget
Sorry,
where we are.
we were asking questions. We were asking questions from Jake. What's your favourite vehicle and why? And it's Pete's question because it's Pete's question.
I just asked Jake's question.
Even though Pete just asked Jake's question.
You asked your own question, Pete.
I can ask my own question. Okay,
I can ask Pete's question while playing with my pretend beard.
You can do that if you want to. Have you got it on?
I'm wearing my pretend. I always wear my Pete pretend beard.
Excellent. All right, ask away.
Okay, so who tells the best dad jokes? We've kind of done that. Are you bad dads or bad dads? I like that. There's a pause between bad dads or bad dads. And you kind of answered that as well. But out of the people here, who is most likely to go skydiving naked? Static, you first.
I want to go skydiving. I just don't know if the world's ready to see Static skydiving naked. You know, I would do it. I would totally do it. But, yeah, I feel like if I jump out of the plane naked, it's like dropping an atomic bomb on the world, and the world just don't want that.
Do people do that? Do they skydive naked?
Oh yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Oh,
it's a thing.
Sure. Oh really?
It's a thing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dang.
With their jackrabbit.
Does it hurt? Does it hurt?
No. Oh no. Oh my god. I cannot.
You cannot.
Oh, jeez. Okay. On that note, what about you, B-Ret?
I would never jump out of a perfectly good airplane. I would never do it. I'm scared of heights. I could never do it.
That's a good answer. That's a much better answer.
No, not doing it.
Maybe if I'm given $1 million, I would skydive naked. I could cover my face, right?
With $1 million, you could cover lots of things. Yes.
So yes, I would. The answer to that question is I would.
It's the face you're worried about?
Recognize it's me.
Face.
I think
18 plus. JR, did you want to ask a question, please?
Okay. This following questions actually from this question onwards are from the Bad Dad server. So the first question is from Big Pappy. Did I pronounce that right? Pappy.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm. Couple of things I wonder about. He said probably stupid questions for the podcast, but maybe some of you guys know. First, when they started auto matchmaking, it was supposed to be in CC first, then roll out to the lower division. Are they still planning on using it in the lower divisions? If so, when? Maybe you're both working for Fingersoft and you know the answer to this? Static or Red?
Yeah,
What do
they
you
wouldn't
think?
be able to tell you.
No, but hey, you guys got them on speed dial, right? Just call David and Salah in, and let's just ask them right now. I'm sure they're up.
Sure.
Sure, they're up for it. It is a weekend for them, so
Yeah, they work on
Yeah,
the
I mean,
weekends. It's okay.
I was kind of hoping a pit crew member would be able to answer that for us.
if only we had a pick for a member on board.
Yeah, where would one be?
Don't know.
Nowhere to be found because it's the weekend. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Big Papi, I'm not sure if your question has been answered. But a couple of things you said about daily task, being gone from the daily task.
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
like
No,
the
I
adventure
yeah,
keys.
I have the answer to his question, and the answer is no. They still exist.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I've got them, the ones that he was asking. So,
Yeah.
and while we talk about the adventure test, this is just for the devs to know. So he
Mhm.
asked about, hey, the like 6 keys, adventure keys, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have run into this, but I've had every month where like I'm on my last 2 or 3 keys, they still give me that task. Like, hey, collect 6 keys, and I only have 3 left to collect.
Oh,
So
that's a
I
bit
can't,
nasty.
yeah, so I can't actually fulfill that daily task. So I got to skip it, and you only get 2 skips per day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, that just might be an oversight. So, I did want to point that out. I don't think that that's difficult to code out where it's like, hey, if you have under 5 keys to collect, just delete that from the pool,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the adventure keys, for one, it just takes long. So it's like one of my least favorite things to do. But like I try to get the keys done. Like I've collected all the keys, earlier this week because I just don't want that task to just populate,
Mhm.
in my queue. So yeah, I know Fingersoft listens. Um, so just want to make it aware. Like, hey, if you could code that out, that would be a sweet quality
Yeah.
of life change.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Just skip it.
Yeah, just
Skip it.
skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just skip
Yep.
it.
Just,
Yeah,
just,
but hey, have you ever had
just
that where
don't
you
play
skip
adventure.
it? Yeah, have you ever had it where you skip it and then it gives you like you skip collect 5 adventure keys and then you skip it and it says collect 6 adventure keys. Have you ever had that happen to you? Because
uh,
I've had that happen to me. I've had that happen
I
to me,
don't
and I'm like, this sucks.
I don't
No, I
recall
haven't.
it doing that to me. I don't.
Okay,
Just,
well, I've had it
just
happen,
skip
and I'm like,
adventure
dude,
completely.
I've skipped it.
yeah. All
Uh,
right. So I will ask this question from Dr. No, it's
it's my turn.
BDR.
Yeah.
It's your turn. Well,
Yeah.
I did
You
your
asked my
question,
question.
so I was kind of just trying to flow, and then I could do 2
Yeah,
in a row, and you could go. Doesn't matter. You ask it, Pete. Go on. You
yeah,
ask it,
it's
Pete.
Pete's turn, Ava.
I've upset you,
Right.
Pete. I'm sorry.
Okay, this one's from BDR Bobby.
Hard
Bad
Bobby
Dads R Bobby.
from
Uh,
Talladega Nights. Hard Bobby.
Talladega Nights, baby.
this one says, might be an interesting conversation topic. Which vehicle mastery will break the game? I'm going to start with Eva, just to mix it up a bit.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit. Okay. Higher under the bus. Um, I think this is gonna break the internet, right? I think they should not do any mods or make a mastery for the muscle car. I think the muscle car should be mastery less. So I think
Hmm.
that's the car that will break the game because all the work you've done to get all the other cars to the level of that car will then become defunct when you do the mastery on the muscle car.
I think not having mastery for the muscle car would break the game.
Not break the game, but having mastery on the muscle car will break the game. So that's why I say don't do it.
Fair enough. How about Brett?
That's a tough one. But if I had to really think about it, I think the tank. Because I don't know if they're going to release the mastery for the tank because they don't use the tank in the team events. So why would they do that?
It is
Fair
still,
point.
you still get daily tasks for it though.
Oh, is it? I didn't even realize it was doing that. But
Well,
are
Brett,
they
you
going
got
to
to play the
release
game.
mastery for the tank or not?
Fair enough. How about Static?
Well, in the chat, I said it was Moonlander because they already nerfed it. So apparently it already broke the game because they had to nerf it.
That is very true.
Right?
That is very true.
So we already had a master that broke the game and we had to fix it. Yeah, I honestly other than that, I don't know. But yeah, the muscle car is really strong. It's fast. So that's a good one. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, my answer would be the Moonlander because they already nerfed it.
Yeah, good answer.
Yeah.
Jackrabbit, have you got one?
No.
Nope, not participating.
I think the glider mastery will break the game
Ooh,
because it's already pretty good in the air, and if they mastery that, if you got a mastery that would make the wings not explode, that would be insane.
yeah,
And
but
that
that's
would
never
definitely
gonna
break
happen.
the game. Oh, it'd be
Do
so
you
good if
think?
it did though.
Yeah, Pete, do you think that they would actually like make one of the mastery levels like extended, glider wing or whatever, right? So you can fly longer. You think they would do that?
I think they would. They've got a mastery that it literally gives parts a buff for another vehicle, which is the motocross.
Yeah.
They've got extended fuel range for what's that other one that they've got for?
A few have
remember.
got extended fuel range. No, the one for me
Yeah.
that gave a pretty good buff was the original Jeep, and I'm still going to call it the Jeep. I don't care what people call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right. The original hill climber / the Jeep, right? Having 10% more power in all the parts really made that car a whole lot faster.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
But-
going to break the game, but
No.
it just made it a whole lot faster and a whole lot more fun.
Mhm.
Yep. I agree.
Mm.
I also
Lee?
agreed with the original Moonlander mastery. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
that's-
think that change to the Moonlander was another way of doing a bit of just exploring in maps as opposed to
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while we're talking about the Moonlander mastery is like, if I don't know if there's a way to do this, but like the real issue is just on the moon maps, right? Like it really extended the time on the moon tracks, right? Because they had a moon track
And
in
it
the
was
team
only the
event.
moon track. Yeah, it was only the moon
Yeah,
track.
because I think in adventure, like the echo boost really needs a boost because you
Yeah.
can't really fly with it. So if there's a way to just nerf it on the moon tracks, but still have it for the regular gravity tracks, so to speak, that would be amazing.
Well,
I don't know what that looks like coding wise,
there was
and how you run the game.
There's already an inbuilt restriction for using the moon map because you've got to pay for tickets. You've got to play a ticket
Yeah.
to use the moon
No, but
map.
I'm talking about like with team events.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't
yeah. Team events.
just don't add the moonlander for moon tracks on team events, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because my argument, or what I'd like to point out, is the way you use the moonlander, the fourth part isn't as beneficial as on all the other vehicles. Because, for example, like, you have landing boost, but you take off the wheels. Well, now you don't get to use the landing boost.
Yep.
And so really you only have to use three parts to make the moonlander effective. And
Yep.
so that fourth part, which makes most of all the other vehicles great, it really improves them. It doesn't on the
Yep.
moonlander,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like one of the worst masteries right now with, how it works, just because that fourth part isn't as beneficial on other cards. I do like that, you can land with it and not die. You can kind of still
Yep.
move forward,
That's
Yep.
very
but
handy.
it's
Yeah.
really right. Like, it's just really that fourth part that really boosts, the vehicles and mastery, and you just don't get that benefit with Moonlander.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I
Well,
mean, the
looks like
Moonlander is kind of like the
you go,
Moonlander is
Brett.
kind of like some of the other cars. It has the thrusters, so that's kind of like a fifth part that you have if you have four parts you're using with the thrusters.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
the the EV having the boost and having that boost at the takeoff, that changed the game for the EV for sure. But what is y'all's favorite mastery vehicle?
Mm.
At the
I
moment,
think mine
I've
would
been
mine
chasing down the racing truck. So I've
it's
only got
definitely
one
made me
vehicle fully mastered.
the race
Yeah,
truck is really fun. I like the moto with the stuntman added into it and that extra flip boost with flip
Mhm.
boost already on it is a lot of fun. I like the moto. So
yeah. For me, the racing truck was probably so far the best, and I do like the motocross, but for me, the racing truck has just made the vehicle a lot more playable.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think the biggest difference that Masters made for is a racing truck, just not having that drag in the air. Which also makes me think, are they gonna kind of nerf the air brake or take the air brake off the supercar when they do
Yep.
mastery for that? Because that would make that might actually break the game, because supercar is really fast, but you got that air brake and it slows it down.
Yep.
But in terms of being able to use vehicles, and actually make it playable for me, I would actually have to say the mono wheel and having the cage on the head. I can actually use the mono wheel now a lot longer than I used to, because I'm not good with it.
Yep.
You know.
I think
So
that
for me,
mastery is so funny because mastery means you master the vehicle, and once you've
yeah,
mastered the vehicle, you don't need a roll cage on your head.
yeah. I mean, Pete, not all of us are masters like you, bro. So
I'm not a master at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
so I need the training wheels on the mono wheel, So,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
hey, Pete don't. So
Well, can I just say that Dr. Bobby, you were definitely correct, and it was an interesting conversation.
it was.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Indeed. Alrighty. So this is a question from Actuary.
Ooh.
He's asked the question, and I think this is a bit tongue in cheek, so I'm going to ask it very politely. What does scrotivation mean?
All right, B, you're up, man. You're up, B.
it's basically what happens to you when my balls lands on top of you. One of the players that we have on our team named my balls, and when he lands on top of you, you already feel the warmth. You feel like you're
Is
in a
that
sauna.
King?
It smells
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
from under cheese all around
Yep.
you.
Yep.
But you become the butt of all jokes on the team, which is fun. It's all in fun for me anyway. But scrotivation, its meaning is you got trapped under my balls, and then you beat my balls, and you had scrotivation, and that's what you needed.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So for an example, because this happened to me. So we had an event probably like a month ago, and the position in the team event score was my balls was on top of B-Ret, and I was right under B-Ret. And B got a better score and gave me the position of honor. And I was like, oh, hell no, I can't do this. I can't be under my balls. Okay. And the worst part is like if you're under my balls and then bot hole is under you, like that's just you can't be there.
Sorry,
You know,
who?
you gotta
Do
we
you
have
really
another
have a
player.
teammate named But?
Yeah, we have another player on the team named Bothole. And then
Oh
the funnier
Oh
bit is
God.
we got another player named Tweener. So, you know, if you got Bothole, Tweener, and my balls, that's the trifecta. You know,
That's not
I
a
don't
good
think I've
place to
ever
be.
yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that lineup. But yeah, that if that ever happens, we're gonna throw a party or something. I don't know. So anyways, B-Ret scores a higher score, and he's like, all right, Static, you got the place to honor now. And I'm like, oh hell no. So we're in a match that we're already winning, and I run my tickets, and I got good scores on the first 3 tracks, and then I screw up the 4th track, and I spend tickets to get a better score so I don't finish under my
Yeah.
balls. And that particular event, I think the best score was like 36K, and I ended up finishing with 37K because I had scrotivation. So that's kind of how it looks like.
That's a good,
You do whatever you
that is
do
explanation.
to not finish below my balls.
that
Yeah.
is the funniest motivation I have.
Scrotivation.
No, that is the funniest motivation in game I have ever heard.
Hey, you just got to be a bad dads, and you just know.
I'm thinking
uh,
maybe I should join Bad Dads and call my alt Gooch.
All right, hey, Pete, we got a spot for you, man. We'll hook you up.
uh, oh god.
That would
Oh
be
god.
the fourth wall.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
there you go.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Okay, that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. I am so
Thank
glad
you,
I asked that.
actuary.
I am so glad I asked that question. Thank you, actuary.
Yeah,
Um,
and by the way, Actuary, he's one of our top players. He's really good. He was also on Team USA, Legion, all
Yep.
that. Like he's a top player.
Yep.
He's one of the
He
best in the
is.
game.
He
He's
is one of
great.
the guys who dominated the daily.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, he's
tasks.
really good. He
Yeah.
so this past week, um like he already had a good score. He kind of scrubbed some of the earlier tracks. So he ran track 4 with no parts with the glider and got like 12K with no parts on the glider.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
He still 15K'd the glider.
Oh, he 15K'd it?
He 15K'd it with no parts.
He
wow.
15K'd it with no parts. Yeah. Like
How
that's
did
how
he
good he
get?
is.
How did he get past that part where you need to jump to go onto a log?
So
There's a
He
flat
used his
Pete,
section of land.
propeller. He used his propeller, and he landed on certain spots when he
Yep.
needed to, and just kept
Yep.
rolling like you would with a regular, like the hill climber or something. All
Yeah,
right,
that
and
is nuts.
Hmm.
he is the one that came up with scrotivation as well. That was his baby right there. That's him. He came up with the whole terminology and everything.
okay, so let's try this again. So the real secret sauce to Actuary is he's got level 4 thumbs. So if you want to get good, you got to level up your thumbs.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I always tell the guys I got level 2 thumbs, and that's why I can't do what he does.
Yep.
I must have
Yeah.
level 1 thumbs.
Yeah, it's 1.5. All right, don't shoot yourself in the foot, brother.
Well, they level up once I get your coaching.
Hey, I can get you up to level 3. That's where I'm at.
Uh,
Excellent. Jack Rabbit, it's your question.
Yes, this question is from your leader, PT. And the question
Petey.
is for B-Ret. PT. The
Mm,
question is for B-Ret. He wants to ask, what is it like being under my balls? Not my balls, but his balls. So regularly.
now, just to clarify, he's not talking physical. He's talking about the player, MAHBALLZ. All right.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've got you now. It's the
Hey,
same thing. It's all about the warmth. It depends on the day. If it's a cold day or a hot day, it really sucks when it's a hot day because he just adds the warmth and the moisture, and you don't want to be there. But if it's a cold day, you might need a little bit of warmth. So it's kind of comforting sometimes as well. So you have to
Yeah,
take it for what it is at the moment.
yeah. The worst
it's
is
good in
in
the winter, but
summer,
not in the summer.
right? But it also depends on if he's manscaped or not. You know,
oh my
like
God.
Very true. Very
if
true.
it's in the summer and he hasn't had his manscape, session in like 2 months, man, like it's suffocating.
Sometimes we need a respirator.
Uh,
So, Eva,
uh,
are we going to be able to release this with a PG-13?
maybe, maybe.
You know what? Hang on. I just realized that my name isn't so bad after all,
Yes,
considering marbles. What is that? The butthole and the what
yeah,
was that
pothole,
name
yeah,
again?
bothole, yeah, bot like robot bothole,
And
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
tweener. What's the other name? Tweet.
Oh
Wiener.
I,
no, it's
I
just tweener, yeah,
Tweener
yeah,
means the wiener.
yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, Jr.
I'm
You're like
joking.
you're rated PG, all right, like you're good.
Oh my God.
You're
Okay.
good, Jr.
Okay.
We
I
are
feel
definitely
better.
NC
Thank you for
17.
making me feel better.
oh, jeez. Okay, so it's my question. Oh no, it's your question, Pete. Sorry.
It
You
is
see
my
how
question.
you see how I just sliced through that and went, right, let's change the subject. You see?
And I also
You're
see
doing great, Ava.
you're trying to step into my questions too. It must be because you're wearing the beard.
No, well,
Uh-huh.
I'm still massaging the beard.
Yeah, same.
Nice.
This question is from BD Exhaust. Must be exhausting being this guy. If Bad Dads was made into a movie, who would play the various team members? Um, I'm going to go with Brett. Who would play you?
I'm even trying to think of what kind of movie I could call it and who I would be. Static might be better for this question.
Maybe.
Welcome
Man,
to Under the Bus, Static.
under
Just
the
get
bus.
cozy.
Yeah,
Under the bus, get cozy. Yeah,
it's greasy under here, man.
yeah, it is. It is. Bring some rags.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring some rags, man. So, you know what? I like roles
Yes.
and stuff. I don't know about, but like if I know our team, like we like adventure, and it would be some kind of adventure movie, and we help each other out. So it would be something like we got to overcome an obstacle or challenge or some kind of evil force, and the way the team goes, we kind of got some usual suspects that are like our heroes, but like any given match, we have probably like 15 guys that all of a sudden pop up with a good score. So I wouldn't say any single dad would play like the hero role, but like we'd be like, a team going in the jungle to save something, and everyone would have an important role because we all carry each other. I can't just single out one person.
So would there be like a Sylvester Stallone or an Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Who would that
back
be?
tomorrow.
Get to the chopper.
Who's the get to the chopper? You know what? We would have we'd have more like a Will Ferrell comedian style guy.
Mhm.
And that would be Foke for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
coming up with the fun stuff. So he'd be like, the Will Ferrell, or like he might not be the main character, but like he's the sidekick with all the humor
He's the
type guy.
comedic value.
Yeah, he's the comedic value. And like, our big hitters, like, hey, who's gonna come in and kind of take the lead and save the day? I don't know, man. It's like Actuary, B-Ret, they're always up there, be one of them. They might not have the personality for it, but like they act like that for the team. They're always leading the way. So, you have, Actuary, shoot, he's an actuary, like he's a numbers guy. So you have the brains guy, and then, B-Ret's what? And he's the Texan, right? Like, who would be a better action star than B-Ret, being from Texas? I would go with those guys. And that,
So
it'd be
you
a
want
fun movie.
Chuck Norris.
Oh,
So
B-Ret,
basically,
Chuck Norris, heck yeah.
Chuck Norris. So basically, what you're saying is we've already seen this movie. It's called Expendables.
Yeah, we could do Expendables, and
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
have a role. I don't know where I'd fit in on that, but I don't know. I'd get in on the action here and there.
Yeah.
At some point.
No. All right.
So yeah, the
the
Expendables would be.
movie. You could just use the movie Expendables and just put a line through the title and just call it Bad Dads.
Bad Dads. Yep,
The movie.
Bad Dads. Try to
Bad
kill
Dads.
us.
The movie. Yeah, that's it.
The movie. Yeah. Bad Dads the movie. We're gonna joke you to death.
Awesome.
No, very
That's the
cool.
kind of movie
Bad
I want to
jokes.
see.
With bad jokes and corny jokes all around.
Exactly.
Okay, so B-Ret, you asked your own question, and we've already answered that question. So thanks for asking a question that we've already answered.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad I can contribute.
Pickles has asked, when will HCR3 be released? Listen to the last episode. When it's released, are we going to see HCR fall apart? Listen to the last episode. So the answer is soon, this year, and no, it's not going to fall apart because they've been still working on HCR1. So
Hang on. That was supposed to be answered by our guests, not by our hosts.
yeah,
Ooh.
listen to the past episode. Save us some time. Listen to the past episode. Save us some time. So there's a couple of questions here from Russ. And his name is Foe, as in the soup. King, as in King and Queen, and BLLZ.
Yeah, that's my balls.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Saying
just
it.
I was not
Let's
giving
just
him the
say-
benefit of the doubt and saying it.
Well, yeah. Delete. Okay, I got it.
No, that's all right. It's even funnier now. Okay, so I'll ask.
That is the weirdest sounding question ever.
Sorry, I'm reading and seeing if I want to ask all of them or some of them or none of them.
See,
Okay.
I kind of thought his question was directed to the podcast host myself.
Oh, well, there you
us,
go.
but-
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's do this really quick
There's
style.
3 of us.
Yeah, let's do this. And he said where you're both born and raised. So where were you both born and raised? Brett, just one word.
Texas.
Static?
Michigan.
Where do you
United
live
States.
now? Yep.
Planet
Where do you
Earth.
live now? One word. B-Ret?
Texas.
Static?
Michigan.
Wow, this is great. They've moved around. 5 words. What is your best moment in life? B-Ret.
Having my babies.
Wow, that's cool. Static.
Yeah, having my family, meeting my
Wow.
wife, having my kids, for sure.
Okay, so this leads into question 4. If you have them, how many kids do you have, and what are their ages?
I have 3 kids. One's 14, the second one's 3, and the third one's 2.
Nice. And Static.
Yeah, I got 3. My oldest is 16. My middle one is 11, and my youngest is 9.
Nice.
I
Okay,
was a late bloomer.
late bloomer. Okay, and so B-Ret, you don't have to answer this in short succession, but what's your favorite hobby outside of HCR2?
Uh, basically buying RC cars on eBay and flipping them or parting them out and making profit. That's what I do. RC car stuff too.
Oh,
Mm.
nice.
Yeah.
And you, Static?
Yeah, so I like sports, and I'm also a fan of history podcasts.
Nice.
Mm.
Nice. History podcasts.
So yeah, so Dan Carlin, Hardcore History,
Yep.
very good, very good. So it's worth your time. Check them out.
Nice. No, cool.
Mhm.
Will do. Okay. You're up, JR.
I have my own question. I did not write it on the questions channel. But if you have a real life experience wherein the game, HCR2, has made an impact or a contributing factor on that experience, have you ever had that? B-Ret.
Not sure that I could say I have.
Okay, that's fine. And what
And
about you, Static?
Yeah. So I have 2, I think. Um One was
Nice.
like last summer, Petey, our team leader, and me, we had some home projects we were doing. He was doing his garage, and I was doing my deck, and we were able to help each other on our home improvement project. So I think his garage looks better because of my help, and my deck looks better because of his help. Um, and
Nice.
and we wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't have a connection through the game. And
Mm-hmm.
then one of my favorite moments in HCR2 is this was when I was running on Stars and Stripes or USA. I can't remember what iteration of the team was, but we had a teammate, and he just kind of messaged us on our team server and just said, "Hey, if I'm not running the next couple days, my son, it's the 1 year anniversary of him passing away. So he was born with complications and only lasted a few days, and he passed away. And that was just really tough. And so we rallied around him as teammates, and we just said, "Hey, we're here for you. However we can help. Just take your time. You don't worry about your team score, whatever." And one of us asked what his name was, and his name was Trey. And so what we decided to do was, for like the next few matches, we all changed our names to include some form of Trey. And so we had names like 4K for Trey, or Win for Trey, or whatever kind of iteration. And we just changed our names to honor his memory. And I think we had a little extra motivation for the next couple matches just to honor our teammate and the tough time he was going through. And it really helped. Like, he just said, "Hey, just the fact that you guys, give a damn and would do this just makes it easier to go through the situation." So that was really, really awesome to be a part of, just to kind of help a teammate, as he was kind of grieving and in a really difficult moment, reliving some really hard memories. We could just kind of lift him up a little bit by just doing something simple in a game, you know. Um, that was really cool. I was really happy to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That is actually really amazing, and I
Yeah.
think you should
Mm-hmm.
rename yourselves to Awesome Dads.
Awesome dad.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, it's funny how a two-dimensional game has brought people together in communities in such a strong way. I go on and on about this, but hearing stories like that makes me feel that it's not just me that has been in this situation. So that is really cool. I mean, it's part of why I play the game and part of why I continue to play the game. So it's great to
Yeah.
hear that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the human connection. And like again, if we didn't have teams in this game, like that
Yep.
wouldn't be possible.
And look,
And
the other part of that is if the in-game chat was really, really wasn't that bad, we would never have gone to Discord, and Discord made the communities.
right.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
yeah, no, very cool. Oh, well, there you go. So
Is it
I don't
my turn?
it's your turn. You can ask one more question if you like, Peter.
Well, I just want to do a shout out to Carp. He asked the question. It's already been answered. But he goes, "Why did you download this godforsaken game?" You already know that. So I'm moving on to Petey, which is the second last question, or second last person to ask a question. How long have you been playing? Have we answered that one?
Yeah, kind
Brett?
of. Both of them have, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
And
playing since the game came out, basically.
yeah, and how long
Same-
have you been on
same
Bad
here.
Dads?
Yeah, I think we answered that too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
too.
thought so. Does Petey look as good in Arseless Chaps as Exhaust says he does?
What's
That's gonna have to be
assless
an
chap?
answer.
Can someone tell me what is an assless chap?
Google it, JR.
Oh
It's the old cowboys how they wear them leather wraps down their thighs, but if you turn around, there's nothing covering the butt. It's just wide open.
Oh.
Dude, I would want to ask Exhaust why he knows how to ask that question because I think he's seen him. So maybe he should answer.
It's
Okay,
possible.
next question. When did you discover that you are way too invested in 2D thumb racing games? Brett?
I don't think I have discovered that yet. I think I'm still just too invested in it. Like,
and therein lies the best answer.
Yep.
I can't say that I really lost interest or that I wanted to be like trying to play catch up or any of that stuff. But I only play one account, so it's a whole lot easier for me to keep up with the new advancements in the game as they see fit. So it's a little different for
Yeah.
multiple account players, I'm sure.
Also, side note, how do you explain that you play this game and it's taken over your life? Like, how do you explain it to somebody who doesn't know the game?
I wouldn't say I really let it taken over my life, but in my free time, that's what I do. I might wake up early on my days off to get some quiet time before the kiddos wake up, so I can time my tickets just right and run 6 or 7 in a row. Just depends, you know. But I don't really miss my tickets while I'm awake. I always know my ticket time, my ticket drop. And the more repetition you can get with those tickets, the better you're going to be.
Yep.
True.
And Static?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How about
so
you?
yeah, I would say the game doesn't take over your life, it expands it, you know? Like
Yep.
how else am I gonna talk to 3 awesome people from the other side of the world, without this connection with the game, right?
Yep.
So, I get to
Yeah.
hear different perspectives, I get to hear different life stories. So I think it's expanded, my life. And just yeah, that would be it. Like I enjoy, getting to meet new people and kind of sharing life experiences with them. So
And
it doesn't take
getting to
over.
bring your teammates up and build them up. And,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed.
Yep.
I mean, when I talk about my podcast and people go, "Oh, what's it about?" and you go, "Oh, well, it's about this car racing game that I play on my phone, and it's blah blah blah, and I play on a team that's in the top 50 or 100 of the world, and blah blah blah, and I've got 2 accounts." And you watch their eyes glaze over, and they're like, "Oh, you do a podcast? That's nice. That's sweet." And they're like, "Oh, how long have you
Yeah.
been doing that?" "Oh, well, we've done 66 episodes, and we're 3 years in." And then they go, "Oh, this is serious."
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, "Well,
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of serious because it's we get a lot of fun out of it, and we
Yep.
reach out to the community, and we've had some really interesting conversations with people, and it's all about getting the right stuff out of people, and
Yeah.
whether the game it's not really about the game anymore. It's more about people. But
Mhm.
the podcast in terms of what we're doing here. But realistically, the game brought us here, so we're
Yep.
all thankful for the game.
Yep.
And do I still play it? As often as I can, when I can, every day. Yes, I do, and I've got 2 accounts, so I get across it as whenever I can, and yeah, it's just part of who I am now.
Yeah.
And do you still time your day to get tickets all lined up in a
Yeah,
row?
yeah, I do. I try
Yeah.
and start matches on both accounts 20 minutes apart. So, if I start at 11 o'clock on the main, I'll do 11:30 on the alt. So I'll finish my tickets on the main, and then I'll just pick up the alt device and do the alt tickets.
Mm.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm playing, either 4 and 6 back to back, or 4 and 6 back to back with the other one. You know, so yeah, I do, not structure my day around, but
Yeah.
I'm aware of timing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. What I would say is like I structure the game to fit within my day flow.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. I don't go change my daily schedule to play the game. It's just hey, I set up. If you keep track of, if you're good with numbers, you can keep track of the schedule and the time. And you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, if I open a chest when I wake up in the morning, then in the afternoon I can open up the chest at the same time, and the cycle just continues, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
Yep.
I
Yep.
just kind of
Yep.
adjust the game to my life as opposed to life taking over my game, as
Yeah.
opposed to game taking over my life.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Mm.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
There's one more question. When I say one more question, it's about 10 by the same person posted under the quiz. Was it Jack Rabbit or Eva up next?
I'd
There's
let
a lot
Eva
of
Um,
ask
questions that
them
are.
because
yeah.
I'll do the
Yeah.
quiz.
These are questions from Hydro. So thanks for the questions, Hydro. Which is your favorite dad joke? We've done. Are you actually dads? Yes, we know that. Do you think C should be remembered? Do you buy the glider in December? Mastery completed. What's your favorite vehicle? Do either of you have any world records?
I don't. I try to play the game and keep up with what I can. I run daily
Yep.
tournaments on the KD Racing Tournament server,
Yep.
and try to improve my skills with a vehicle cycle where we don't get to choose what vehicle we get to run for that day. We run a cycle of vehicles, so it kind of helps you improve on different vehicles in the game that you wouldn't normally be driving on the day.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. And what about you,
Yeah.
Static?
Yeah, I don't. I have some decent scores in adventure and some decent times on tracks, but no world records.
Okay. Cool. All right. No problems. No problems. And how high has the team placed in the rankings since
Mm.
CC? How high in CC did you get?
Then we getting
Uh,
like 30th, like late
uh,
last year.
we were pretty close up there in like the top 25 at one point. But
Yeah.
at like the best we've done in CC as the team Bad Dads, like we went 3 consecutive seasons without getting demoted.
That's
That
pretty
was probably our best achievement in CC.
Yep.
But it's been more or less a Division 1 CC back and forth flop since then. But, we don't sandbag as a team, and we always try to win the game. We don't play around. We don't have people sit back and wait till the last 8 hours and then run your best score. We don't do none of that. We just play and have fun.
Yeah,
We
fair
run
enough.
our tickets. We don't really care about KMs. You know?
Yeah. No, cool. Very cool.
Kilometers,
All right.
they come naturally as long as you're having fun.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's what it's
Over to
about.
you. Over to you, JR.
Okay. We are almost at the last part of the podcast, but before I ask the Never Have I Ever quiz, I would like to ask our guests if you both have any questions for the host, for us. B-Ret,
Yeah.
do you have any?
Oh God, no.
Good, no. Oh, come on. This is their chance, Pete. This is their
Okay,
chance.
bring it on.
Yeah, B-Ret, you first. You go ask first if you have any question.
This is where I want to revert back to my balls questions from a while ago. Where are y'all born and raised at?
Mm.
Okay.
Pete, you go first.
Pete, you go first.
I was born in Gippsland, Victoria, and raised in Gippsland, Victoria.
And where do you live now?
Gippsland, Victoria.
You haven't moved at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
I've moved
Yeah.
around the region, but no,
Mm.
I'm not very well travelled.
Okay, Eva?
I was born in Adelaide in South Australia, and I have moved around. I've lived in Queensland, but I'm now living in Melbourne, Victoria.
Very cool. Okay. I will answer this question. I have been asked several times on DM about this question. So to clarify, I was born and raised in the Philippines. I still live in the Philippines, but my team is Aus and Z, and I consider them as family. So I am not Australian by any chance, nor do I live in Australia. There you go. What about Static? Do you have any questions?
More than a question, I just want to say congratulations to you three for your roles within the game, on this on being mods and pit crew. I think you guys have done a lot of hard work for this community, for Hill Climb Racing too, and I'm really really happy for you guys to be recognized from Fingersoft for all your hard work. And I can't be more happy to see you guys get you know recognized for that. I think you've made the community much stronger. And for me, anyways, when the podcast comes out, it's fun for me to listen to see other players' experience and stuff. And you guys have brought a way to bring that to the community. So thank you guys for all that you do. And I'm just glad I get to be a part of it today.
Oh, we
Yeah,
really appreciate
yeah,
that.
Awesome. Thank you.
exactly what
Thank
he
you.
said. Same way. I listen to y'all's podcast as well, and I like what y'all are doing. Keep up the good work.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank you.
listening.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. And thank you for coming on.
Hmm
Hey, not a problem.
Yeah. What was
Mhm.
funny, Ava, is like I reached out to you because I'm just like, hey, maybe he needs, it's great when someone offers you like ideas, right? And
Yeah.
so I
Mhm.
messaged you, and then you got sick that weekend, and you didn't respond for like 3 days, and I thought maybe I I might have made you mad or upset because like you didn't respond, and no, you're just sick, and then you're like, hey, yeah, sure, come on the podcast. We wanted to have you. So for like 3 days, I'm just
Mhm.
sitting there, like, man. Is Ava that sensitive, or did I say something wrong, or like what's going on? Like,
No.
no, you were just sick. It was funny,
Go away, bad dream.
right? Yeah.
No. it's great to be a part of this, and it's great to be to have you guys come along and just enjoy yourselves, and yeah, it's good fun. We do it for the laughs, we do it for the fun, and
Yes.
it's even more fun when you get people who throw it right back at you. I mean, that comment about the balls, I don't know how I'm going to get that through 13 plus, but
Yeah,
it's
good luck.
it's my editing right to try and do my best. So yeah.
My beeps.
Yeah, beeps,
Yeah.
beeps,
Yeah.
and beeps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll get there. I will get there. I promise. I promise to leave it as much as I can in its entirety.
Yeah, we
Because
have faith in you, Ava.
it is hilarious. Yeah.
Can we
Um,
change the word to something else to where it doesn't bleep it? Like we'll call it something else
no,
instead of
no,
balls. We'll call it hammock.
I will do something. I promise I will do something. Because it is hilarious. I just can't remove it completely. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that. So, JR.
Yes. This is the
Quiz
never
me.
have I. This is the never have I ever quiz. We ask this quiz to all our podcast guests. So, are you ready for the first question?
I
So we'll
am.
go with
Yes.
I'll go with B-Ret first to answer, and then Static. The first question is: have you ever run a team event ticket on a live stream on Discord? B-Ret?
Yes, yes, I have.
Yes, and
I,
Static.
I
Yes.
I first
Mhm.
learned that you could do this on Empire when I was over there for the brief stint, and
Oh yeah.
it's definitely fun.
Yes.
I would like to get the Bad Dad server a little bit more involved with that. If we can get
Hmm.
a few more people online, that might work.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
way to get coaching.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay, next question. Have you ever made a custom track, B-Ret?
I sure did. I made one for the
Okay.
glider for one of the multi jumps that I was having trouble with, and I was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to try to come close to recreating what the track looks like. I think it was a snow track with the glider, and
Nice.
I made it. I made it for my sole benefit, just to be able to have something
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
practice with.
Yes, that's cool. And Static, have you made a custom track?
I have not.
You have not. Okay. So the third question: has this custom track ever been featured in the community showcase, B-Ret?
No, they have not. I create them for myself,
Oh,
and
okay. Okay.
Oh, but
Mhm.
mine has JR. My non-created track has been featured.
Your imaginary track.
Yeah,
Imaginary track. Uh-huh.
I run it.
Uh,
I run it in my dreams every day.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I bet it's very challenging and so cool. Next question. Next question. Have you ever spent gems to get the XP multiplier in the shop? Biret.
definitely, I try to use it for as much as
Yeah.
I can. I mean,
And static.
Yep, I did.
Yep. Next question. Have you ever spent 4,000 gems and purchased a legendary chest for XP? Biret.
I sure have not. I'm not going to waste my gems on that.
Yeah, right? I wouldn't also. Static, what about you?
I have not.
Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Number six question. Have you ever spent real money in the game, Biret?
Definitely, I sure have.
Mm. And
I'll buy
static.
the VIP
Yeah,
and
cool. And static, have you spent real
Yep,
money?
I have VIP as well.
Yeah,
So
VIP.
every
Okay.
month,
Okay.
every month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, cool. Number seven. Have you ever completed masteries for all current vehicles with mastery? Is it
uh,
updated? Like,
I am totally current on the formula,
mm,
but I haven't got the formula done. I'm current on all masteries up to the formula.
oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. So that's a yes. And static.
Yes.
Yes, I have all of them done,
Oh,
including the
no.
formula.
Oh,
Formula's done.
nice. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Next question. Have you ever thought of giving up playing the game, B-Ret?
Never,
Never. And
never
Static.
even a thought.
Static.
Yeah, I did for about a year
You
and a half.
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Nice.
I'm a
Okay.
bad. I'm a bad dad, so I gave up.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Next question. Have you ever used a prefix in your name to announce what team you are in? Biret.
Ye- yes, I have the BD tag
Yes.
in front of my name.
Uh-huh. And Static?
Yep. BD
Yep.
and then
Mm.
Stars and Stripe USA.
Oh,
I
okay.
did those as well.
Nice. Next question. Have you ever created content for a YouTube channel? Biret.
Yes, I have. I have a YouTube channel myself.
Oh, cool. Very
So
nice.
cool.
And
Can you share that with us, please?
It
mhm.
was created so that I could share videos with my teammates solely. It
Okay.
wasn't really created for anything else. But yeah, I could share that. I could share that with you.
Mhm. Mhm. Nice. And Static, have you?
I have not, but I have starred in B-Ret's videos though. I drive past him really fast. Like you'll see me. You see me pass him in the videos.
I'm giving you a 0.5.
Yeah, I was about to say
There you go.
I'm giving you a 0.5
0.5.
for originality.
There you go.
Uh-huh. Okay. Next question. Have you ever met another HCR2 teammate or player in real life? Abiret.
Other than my family, but no. I, I've got a few players that I know and talk to that are close to me, but we just haven't met
You
up
haven't?
in real life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Static, have you?
Yeah, same thing. My brother played the game for a while, so I met
Mm.
him, but
Mhm.
I haven't. So, and the funny thing is, Actuary actually lives like 30 minutes or 45 minutes away from me. So we still need to meet up for beers, brother.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Okay, the last question.
Recommended.
Yeah, the last question. Have you ever done a face reveal on any Discord server other than the podcast server? Biret.
No, no, I
No.
have not.
Static? Static?
Yes, on the
Oh,
old USA server.
okay. Okay. Cool. Eva.
So sorry, that was yes for both, yeah? Face reveal for yes
Yes.
for both. Yes for both. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So at the end of that, we don't have a new winner, overall winner, but we do have a winner for the episode. So Static, you have won by
Half a point.
half a point. So yeah, you got half a point for your creativity about driving past B-Ret when he's making his own videos. So you have
Right.
3.5 nevers, and B-Ret has 4 nevers, which is quite a good score for both of yous. It's below the
Yeah, not
average.
bad.
Sorry,
Nice.
above the average or below the average, depending on which way you want to look at it. Yeah, very, very good. And because you didn't win overall or anything like that, you get everything that we give to all of our other contestants of the Never Have I Ever quiz. You get absolutely nothing.
Awesome. That's great.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I
So
was hoping to hear.
that's what you're hoping to hear, because it's really
Yeah.
hard to get absolutely something to the other side of the world. Trust me, the popcorn machine didn't happen. That's all I'm saying.
No,
Yeah,
but you
no, the
still
popcorn
haven't
machine.
sent that popcorn machine.
No, I haven't sent that popcorn machine
Come
because
on, man.
I went to the little bit at the end and said, okay, yes, please send, and it said freight $375 US,
Oh my
and
Yes.
God.
I was like, no, no,
You're
no,
like, yeah, I like Fingersoft, but not that much.
no. I'll send them popcorn. It's cheaper.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, no, maybe. Um,
I don't know.
anyway. So look, we really appreciate the Never Have I Ever game because it is a bit of fun and it is a bit of a laugh at ourselves
Yeah.
and yourselves and all that sort of stuff. So we appreciate you for playing. Um, we've reached the end of the podcast, and this is where we turn around and say thank you very much for spending a couple of hours with us for both Static and B-Ret, because we've really enjoyed your stories and the laughs and all the other stuff. So we are really looking forward to sharing this episode with all of our listeners. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your kind words.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. It's been a blast. So you guys are great people. It's been fun getting to know you guys.
No,
Likewise.
Same here. Same here.
All right. So, JR, you got some last words?
Yeah, thank you to both our guests for coming on. And hopefully, if your leader, PD, would be able to hear this, he would try being on the podcast. I'm throwing him under the bus to see who's the better Pete. No. Anyway, thank you to all
hang
our.
on. Have a Pete off.
We could
Under
have
the
a
bus.
Oh,
We could
I
have a
like
Pete off.
that.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah.
And anyway, so thank you to all our listeners for the questions, and for everyone in the Bad Dad team for their questions. Pete, your turn.
Yes. I'm just going to call out Petey and say, come to the podcast so I can finally get to say, nice to meet you.
Oh my goodness.
God. And on that bad dad joke, we will try and end this before he gets out another one.
Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a blast today. So yeah,
yes,
had a lot of fun,
indeed.
a lot of laughs.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
So if you are still listening at this end of the podcast and you just lived through Pete's bad dad joke and are still listening, haven't turned it off, please like and subscribe to our podcast channel. It means the world to us to see the subscribers going up. Thank you very much. And thanks again for listening. We are looking forward to our next episode, which is coming up soon. It's good night from me. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, JR. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, B-Ret, and thanks, Static. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Later.